What's going on, people? So, as I sat down to start recording things, well, I've just finished the pro wrestling crate. That went smooth, right? It was even a good crate, so that's cool. Yeah. But outside, now they decided they need to make a new road or something, so you're probably going to hear a fair amount of noise out there. I'm going to try to remember to speak louder, but the thing is, I'm naturally not like a loud speaker because I don't need to be, right? So I just speak at a normal volume. But if this comes off like sound-wise a little weird or whatever, blame them, okay? Yeah, I guess you could blame me too if you want to. I mean, it is my video and I'm in large control of this. But I would rather you blame somebody else, you know? Because I just would prefer that, honestly. So either way, let's get into these things right here, right? So, been waiting a while to knock this review out. And I only say that because when I first saw these things, they didn't have a release date. I just saw them and I was like, well, this is something I need to know about. And then I just checked the Asics site every day for like the last 2 months. Either way, so I'm gonna knock out a review of some sort on this right here. It is the Asics Gel-Nimbus 9 in Night Shade and Orchid. I had to read that off the side of the box because I can never remember what these things are called for some reason. It's like 3 words and I just can't do it. Starting with the bottom. Down there, what are you looking at? Well, let's see. It looks like a standard outsole to me if you think about things from like 15, 20 years ago, right? Pretty plain, pretty simple, you right? Nice purple though, I'll give it that. So let's move along past that. Check out the midsole here, because there you got a little bit going on, right? Still the same purple, sure, obviously, right? But you got these little gel bits peeking through, right? So I do like that. It's kind of a cool look, you know? Kind of reminds me of like, I guess like an Air Max 1 or Air Max 90, things like that, where it's like there's an air unit in there, but you can't see the whole thing, right? So yeah, that's what's happening there. Now, a couple other pictures real quick, just so you can start getting your mind wrapped around these here things. It's not a whole lot to it, really. I mean, a lot of purple, a lot of green, a lot of mesh, right? I mean, the build is very similar to a lot of the older things of this era, and some things that have popped up recently, you know, sort of a resurgence of this look. But whatever, I'm still going to knock out a review, kind of, sort of, so you can see some close-ups and get your mind fully on board with if you want these or don't want these, or at least closer than you are right now. We'll start with the front area, toe box and stuff, right? Because why not? So down there on the top piece, okay, you got this little mesh thing going on behind there. It looks really nice and all that good stuff. It's just like it feels kind of weird, you know? It feels like almost plasticky, just like for this overlay at the top or whatever. But it's a good look in some ways, and it feels pretty nice when you actually do wear them because, you know, breathability. And around that, right, you're going to be seeing a whole lot of this like patent leather type plasticky stuff going on, right? So that's going to be in various shades of purple, and that's going to be all throughout the rest of the shoe, as you've probably already noticed. But the one part where it's not quite like that is in this front piece, like right after the toe box and right before the Asics logo. So I don't know what this is, but it feels to me like a weird plastic. Like when I was younger, I had these little race car track things. You put cars on there, or use some remote thing to race them or whatever. It feels like those tracks, right? I know that's a very specific thing and not helpful to a lot of people, but just know that it's not normal to me. So anyways, moving on past that, like I said, in this mid area of the shoe. So that's where you're going to have the Asics logo, right? So you got the normal overlays and style design that you would normally have for the logo itself. And then behind that, you still have a little bit of that mesh and stuff from the toe box. But then on the underside, like the lower side, I should say, there it's going to be super heavy into that plastic, right? And while we're talking about it, looking at the inside, it's built the same way. It's just that the presentation is a little bit different, right? So down on the bottom, this inside area is going to be more flat, right? It's not as much design going on and stuff like that. Otherwise, like they're both very much the same as far as build goes, right? Now moving to the back third or so of the shoe, right? On the outside, you have the Gel-Nimbus 9 logo. Above that, you got some more of that mesh stuff happening. Not bad. And one last thing to say about the inside of the shoe, you probably noticed you didn't have the logos or anything on there, right? Now, on the very back though, you have gel at the top. You can still see obviously some of that mesh and whatnot, and of course more of that plasticky stuff at the bottom. So pretty decent all in all, right? Now let's go jumping back to the front here where the laces are. So the laces themselves, it's kind of going to be one of those standard laces, like they're kind of flat, kind of round, like an oval sort of shape in some ways. Whatever you want to call them, that's what they are, right? There's probably a better way to say that. Maybe they have an actual name for that style. You would think I would know, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know. So anyways, moving on. Back here, behind the tongue, right? Well, behind the laces, on the tongue. This whole upper from the toe box area, it just kind of goes all the way up into this area too, right? So that's going to give you the same look. Down there in the middle, holding down the laces, you do have that little plastic piece. And then at the tippy top, you have Gel-Nimbus 9 Asics at the top with that same logo style that you would expect based on the rest of the shoe and how it's all set up, right? And it's a nice sort of feeling on the back, almost feels like a nylon sort of neoprene thing going on back there. Pretty cool. I mean, you probably won't really feel it depending on like what kind of socks you wear or whatever, but you know, to the touch, it's pretty nice. Kind of matches up a little bit with what you see on the sock liner, though the color is obviously different, right? And now as we jump onto the very bottom in there, looking at that insole, that's just going to be a little green and a little black. Nice combination, right? So there you go, there's that. I don't think there's anything else to say about the overall look of the shoe or whatever, so I'm going to move on, knock out some personal thoughts real quick. Personally, right? When I saw these, they were listed as like, you know, the Joker Nimbus 9 or whatever, and I was like, I like the Joker, I like Asics. This is a model I haven't tried out yet. Looks pretty alright, let's do that. So yeah, it was like hitting all the right blocks, you know? So I picked them up eventually, like I said, and when I first got them out of the box, I thought to myself, well, this, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And that was largely just because it was so plasticky. But past that, like, I can't really complain about it because I don't think that that's how they all look. And I think in some ways it kind of makes sense here, right? Because you might want a little bit of a shine for these. But all in all, for me, looking at these like now after taking all the pictures and stuff, yeah, I'm on board with them. This was $160 well spent. I think it was $160. That sounds fair. So yeah, I like them, right? I don't see them selling out. Like they're still very much in stock, so you'll probably be able to get them for a decent deal later because that's just how Asics works. But I'd keep your eye on them if you're interested, you know? If you're not interested, well, hey, it happens. Not everything's for everybody. That's why stuff comes in different flavors now, isn't it? So there's that, personally, and whatnot. I'm going to move on, talk about some sizing and comfort, because people like to hear that sort of thing, or they just like to see it. I don't know. I could put up a poll and see if people care to hear what I have to say, or if they would rather just see them on the feet. But yeah, whatever. I need something to do to fill out the video. Sizing wise, I bought these in a 9.5 because that's the thing that made sense. My foot has been measured. It's a 9.5. It works out 99% of the time, right? And walking around in these, no complaints, none whatsoever, right? They're nice, they're fairly lightweight. They look like they could have been a little heavy. Just, I guess the plastic made me think they might be, I don't know. Because it wasn't like standard mesh or suede or anything. But it's working out pretty nice on that front. Also, as far as the breathability goes, the breathability is working out pretty well too. Because you may have noticed there's a whole lot of mesh going on here. Yeah, there's some plastic pieces on the side that might kind of hinder that just a wee bit. But ultimately, at least compared to like the other two shoes that I was walking around in today for the videos and stuff, yeah, no complaints on that side. Now, as far as comfort goes, overall wearing these, right, on the bottom piece, these are fine, right? Again, 15-year-old technology like a lot of things, so I can't really say how they'll stack up to other things. Like if you're doing that, like I don't think that's a fair comparison. Probably compare them to other things. Somebody had asked me like how these compare to like the Kayano 14, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, and I still don't know, and I'm not gonna find out because I got enough other things to do. Comparing 15-year-old shoe models, not on the list, not making it, right? But I will say this: walking around in these all day, I could see people doing it with no problem, right? Because some stuff has held up fine over the years, and I feel like this is one of those things that has held up fine over the years. It's just not going to rival any modern day shoes for obvious reasons. But as summer right now and all that good stuff, I don't know how many other colors they have of the Nimbus 9. I think I saw like maybe 5 on the Asics site. It's not a bad shoe for this time of year, so go ahead, jump on in there, see what they have that you might be into, right? Assuming you think that this review is going positively for you in your view of the Nimbus 9. See what other colors they have. Maybe this one isn't for you, but maybe one of the others is, right? So there is that. But otherwise, I don't have a whole lot else to say. I gotta move on to these other videos and stuff, right? So I'm gonna do that. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. One thing I will add, this right here is one of my favorite shirts. It's one of the Roosevelt's ones. I did a review on this, right? Pretty sure I did, more than likely. Or maybe I didn't. Who knows? If you see a thing across the top, that means I did one. If not, well, then whatever. But yeah, check them all out. They make a lot of cool stuff, right? Though it gets pricey if you get into it. Believe me, it certainly gets pricey. There we go. Now I guess I'm done. Later, people.